Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Cyberpunk 2077, a game that should have been something like a new standard of quality. Another Witcher. At least the hype looked like that. The launch of the game was something absolutely different than what would you expect after such hype. Well, never pre-order video games. I wonder what would Total Biscuit said about the game. Who knows? I thought I will be able to withstand the pressure of hype, but a week before final release date I pre-ordered the game. Yes, I failed. Come on, it's a game from CD Projekt Red. It's gonna be a marvelous game. It's a guarantee. Is it? Well, depends. If you play the game on consoles right from the launch, I guess you had very bad, maybe okay, experience. If you played the game on PC, then you probably had rather okay experience. Still with bugs. And here is my experience. So, I bought a new graphic card and took 2 days off from my work. I was ready. I thought. I was playing the game first month as much as I could. I had something like 80 hours in the game, now 120 hours. My first impressions? I was amazed. I really liked it. I was like, is it still some hype effect? Because I have heard so many times before on how awesome will be Cyberpunk, maybe that hype is in me. Well, yes and no. As every game, it has its good and bad parts. I was playing on wide quad, HD, resolution, on I would say almost maximum possible details. The game ran pretty well while driving a car in the center of the city at high speed. 28 FPS. That was terrible. Sometimes 40, almost 50. In action I had usually more than maybe 70 FPS, so driving in a center was really demanding. Thanks to my upgraded PC, I was pretty okay. The game would run even better if I wouldn't be so stubborn in terms of playing on high settings on wide quad HD resolution with ray tracing, because I never experienced ray tracing before. I just wanted to play with that. I was like a kid that just got a pass or M&M. There was no way back. Nope. I don't know what I did wrong or right, but except lower FPS, you wouldn't want in some cases, of course. There are bugs like in every other game these days. Which is not right and shouldn't make you feel okay with that, just because, you know, others make games bug doesn't mean everyone has to do it like that. Still, it is not worse than other games released in 2020. I have 120 hours of game time, played on the hardest difficulty, Street Kid, all side quests completed, all activities completed. I have tried several endings. Now I'm playing again from the start as a nomad. Again, I have to mention that I played the game from the launch day. Still no crashes. 4 times maybe I had to load the last save game because I couldn't select conversation option or something like that. T-poses of characters are something I have seen in a blink of an eye several times, and it was my character when I drove around the city at high speed. Speaking about high speed, when you drive really fast, that is the moment when the shit hit the fan. The game is unable to load everything in time and things are about to happen. Cars spawning in other cars, which makes them explode or just jump around. I believe there was more, but can't really recall all of that. I can remember that when you kill somebody in stealth, your character will twist the neck of your enemies. And when you do that, there is this cracking sound. And you can hear that even minutes after you kill the person again and again. That's weird. So, my experience is pretty good. Rather good. Just little things if you talk about bugs. Now let's mention some interesting thing about the game. Look at the user reviews of the game on Metacritic, which of course got better over time, but still some things are still pretty similar to what I want to mention. PC players are rather okay, consoles players are angry. At one point, CD Projekt Red really made a wrong decision to release the game on old consoles. That's their fault, yes. They made possible to do reviews on PC only. That's their fault also. They knew the game is in terrible shape on old consoles. Still they released the game and pretended like it is fine. So it is developers' fault. Is it? Well, of course it is. In big part. However, they are not alone in this shit. Sony and Microsoft has some sort of certification system. It is a process when those platforms test a game on their own and they have to state if the game is okay for their platform and it can be launched. As you might have noticed, both of those companies stated that the game is okay and ready to launch and sell and get their share of cake. Everyone wants to have a piece of cake, especially from such a hyped cake, right? Money, money, money. Suddenly people noticed it is a shitty thing on consoles. Wow. Wow. CD Projekt Red told players to ask for a refund, and well, Microsoft was rather okay and continued to refund money for the bought game. It was their fault too, to certify the game in the end. No? Sony did that too, but after a short period of time, the company was like, it's not our fault that the game is bad, blame CD Projekt Red, we will not continue in refunding. Ah, but it is your fault too. You should have not certified the game in the first place, so eat shit too. Don't blame only CD Projekt Red, they are the main problem, but Sony and Microsoft shares the blame in some way. One of the lead developers said that the game passed the certification process because Sony and Microsoft thought that CD Projekt Red will fix the game till the release, or CD Projekt Red assured them to do. In the end, who knows? It does not matter. They certified the game, it was a risk. Well, didn't pay off. It could have been launched separately on PC in December and few months later on consoles. When it gets ready, it will be fine. Well, fine. If developers would first make only the PC version, it will be flawless, because that will be only thing to focus on, right? Not PC and consoles, but only one of those. Maybe there would be so many things better. Maybe. Well, in past, people had to wait for Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Would be better in this case too. Maybe. Or maybe not. Who knows? At least they didn't do that shitty move like in first Watch Dogs. Do you remember those trailers of the best looking game of all time? Wow. Wow. Can't wait to play that. Many thought that. Then developers were like, uh-oh, the game can't be run in this quality on consoles. They are far too weak for that performance. Okay, let's make it shitty for PC players, and well, console players are used to this quality, so they'll be alright. What forecast will be for that time? Shitstorm. I always gladly remind myself this time. It was not a really smart move from Ubisoft. Well, back then, maybe it sounded like a master plan. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? So, that was rather about technical side of the game. Also, you have here in Cyberpunk 2077, as you would expect from CD Projekt Red, good side quests. Main storyline is great. Conversations in the game are just great thanks to the new technology that greatly imitates lips in the way voice actors talk, so you really have a feeling like characters are truly talking to you and they are not just dummies. Atmosphere is great indeed, as in their previous game Witcher 3. I can understand why they wanted to have the game in first-person view, and it is a good thing in games like this, you know, shooter games. Still, it's not a rule, but thing is, I really like the job they had with cameras in Witcher 3, where conversations were like from movies. Different angles, interesting sceneries and stuff, it helped to get you in the game. You felt much more immersed in the game or story. Here you always have the same view. At start it might be good, but later conversation starts to lose their magic. Especially when you see your character or anything in a scene, you're like, that looks better. The end of the game is, I think, the only moment where are some end scenes and you can see your character. Finally, and suddenly, you feel different about the game. Suddenly you're like, the hell? They should have made conversations like that. Like they did in Witcher 3. God damn it. Or at least they could have make an option for you. Seen everything from first person or only combat. Walk in and then third person view for conversations, more story, videos and driving. It would be so much better. Now I would like to mention the wrong choice of some certain button for certain actions. It is pretty stupid that you can get in stealth mode by a C button. And at the same time you can skip a conversation with that. Sometimes you are in stealth and suddenly you are starting to talk to somebody. So, you want to stand up from crouch, so you press C and you start rolling with your eyes like that's stupid. I just skipped a part of conversation. Well, this happens a lot. I was expecting from Cyberpunk good AI, shooting or handling of cars, great soundtrack, atmosphere and story. Sadly, I would say that good story truly is there, yeah, and somehow pretty good soundtrack and atmosphere, yeah. Shooting, nice. Okay. Well, shooting doesn't feel that good. It is average, I would say. Rage 2 was nothing awesome, but the shooting, the combat was really good. Here it is, I would say nothing special. Sometimes boring, and I played on the hardest difficulty. When you get hurt, you don't really react to that, which works same for enemies. Shotguns, oh yeah, shotguns can affect that a bit, which is why I want to play the game again in a different style. I played with a technical sniper rifle, assault rifle and a pistol. Now with a shotgun, and enemies sometimes fall on the ground by hitting them, which gives me much better experience than I had before with other weapons, where I just shot at everyone, and that was it. They were just accepting bullets, or as was mentioned by many people, bullet sponge. Enemies are making the game boring. Or maybe it's not the case if you can really aim the head of enemies, and you have also a really good, really strong gun. That's right. Driving is weird. You have to get used to it, but still you will be like, it's not it. However, I have to admire interior of cars. There is a lot of detailed work there. Clothes as well. Pity you can't see really well from a car while driving during the day. Sun shines so much you can't see a thing from a first person. That's stupid. Pretty stupid. The handling of cars must be improved as well. The physics of cars, that's terrible. When using brakes at high speed, well, it doesn't really make anything with the car. You still drive straight. Raining, no change. You can get in a skid when you want to turn right or left, but usually not a big problem. Try leave a car when driving. You just leave, standing like the speed is not affecting it at all. The game has crafting system, which is pretty same like in every other game. You can get a giant Mendes blade in your arms or a rocket launcher, among other things. However, hacking, that's pretty fun. You can hack a person and make it attack others. You can make a grenade of your enemies explode while they're talking to each other. Send them a virus which will slowly kill them and infect others. Blind them, overheat them, and so on. The game has pretty cool things here. AI is nothing special, and that is really a shame. I mentioned in previous minutes Grand Theft Auto 5. This game is pretty often compared with Cyberpunk, just to show how stupid can Cyberpunk be, unluckily. Imagine in Grand Theft Auto 5 a car on the pavement. NPCs will go around this car. In Cyberpunk they either stop and stand where they are, or they go back to the point they came from. When you shoot NPCs, just stand with hands in the air. Or now with more patches, they run away. Ooh, excitement. In Grand Theft Auto, people even attack you. In Cyberpunk, enemies are just regular bots. No big tactic from their side. Like, overrun you, make some sort of press from one side and attack you later with more people from a side. It is a shame, again. It is killing the atmosphere sometimes. At least sometimes one of the enemies is a hacker, so they try to hack you and overheat your system. That makes your game style pretty aggressive. It can make it. However, it is the only one thing that can affect the combat, and later it is rather annoying. Because you know that this is all they can do. Or, oh, sorry. They can also throw a grenade. So, okay, two things. Enemies can hack you and throw a grenade to your direction. And run in your direction with a baseball bat. Three things, okay. Wow. Also, don't try to play with cops. That is absolutely stupid. Shoot some civilian, and you got police after you. Saying this out loud sounds pretty stupid. I hope no one has heard me. Anyway, if you do that in a game, this particularly, suddenly behind you appears a police drone. You shoot it down, and suddenly another drones and cops spawns not far from your back. Always behind you. Well, They won't come with cars, they just appear. When you try to evade them, just run away. Cybercops can't run, I guess. You don't have to run that far and they will stop following you. You would expect in such age, in a city where is a lot of gangs and people with various improved bodies and weapons, that you might be attacked from everyone when you start randomly shooting the street. Well, no. You want to defeat cops? Just stand with your back against the wall. Then no one can spawn right behind you, right? This is sad. You would expect a living world like GTA, Red Dead Redemption, but Cyberpunk has pretty dead world. When I played the game for a second time, I discovered that. Most of the story or side quests are of course same. You can say something in a bit different way, but it does not really affect a game. Cool, you can do some stuff in a different way, like you can get to some house by stealth, or hacking some doors, or opening some doors by force, or unlocking some window thanks to engineering skills, or Bravo 1 going loud. That's good. Criminal activities are same. You would call them random, but they do happen on same places over and over again with same characters. One day you drive around some corner in Watson and look, there is a man and a woman robbed by 4 persons. I will help you. I'll deal with them and sometime later they are there again. After you save those people, they just stand there doing nothing. Sometimes they thank you by saying, "Leave me alone, please don't hurt me." Or they say nothing, because you killed them. Nothing really happens in this world. I was doing several activities by just walking through streets, which was pretty cool to graphic, thanks to graphic. One time I was waiting at the pedestrian crossing, so I can get to another side. Of course. While I was waiting, a man walked to me and said that we should get know each other. Since then I use a car. That was interesting, but there was not really more of that stuff. However, just walking through the city makes you appreciate that developers made a lot of work with details. Like pedestrian crossing, for example. Still, the world is dead. I thought in some parts of the story I might be ambushed or chased randomly by some gangs, police, some organizations just because what I did before. No. We're the same world all the time. I think CD Projekt Red really should have made only PC version. They should have made it in a way they wanted it and release it. Later, make it for new consoles and everyone will be satisfied. Not like this. Let's make it for everyone, but unfinished. I wonder if they make something about the dead world, because right now they are releasing patches and that fix bugs and technical side of the game, but what about this? DLCs won't be about better AI. That's bullshit. But the man can hope, right? In some parts of this video it might have seemed like I hate the game, but it is pretty opposite. I still like the game. I play it for a second time. Maybe in future I try to play it again as Corpo John Wick style. I really like how the game looks, how big the game is. Sometimes I drive and look everywhere around, just wow! I think the graphics should be always the last thing to consider when speaking about games, but here it is a milestone. I think the game is not a whole thing which developers wanted to show. I think, or well, rather I hope that CD Projekt Red add and improve a lot of things which will make the whole game experience better. Several big patches and DLCs are on the way and will be released during this year, so we will see. Wonder how we will think about this game 6 months later. However, next time when CD Projekt Red release a game, people should be more patient and wait what kind of thing will eventually hit stores. So they will not try this again. So no one will try this again. Developers should not think that they can release games in that state. They apologized, yeah, but hey, they knew what they were doing. You can't just say sorry after that and everyone is fine. You can't just do that. You can't. If you doubt about buying this game, well, I can recommend it. Do you have a PC? Should be no problem. New console? I'm not sure if you should rather still wait a month or more. Well, it won't look that great, but it should be fine. It will be better later. Especially with new console version of the game, it should be okay. Should be. Old consoles should be okay now. Still, your console might be overheated. Many had this problem and many had not. Well, this game was overhyped, but still it truly has a good story, it looks good and it has a good atmosphere. Yet there is a lot to improve. It can be even better. Yeah. I hope I said everything I wanted to. I felt like the overall view about the game is too negative, so I wanted to contribute with my point of view as well and tell that it is not that bad. Yeah. Please leave a comment with your feelings about the game, and thanks for watching and see you next time.